price of Bitcoin has slipped in the past month amid concerns over tighter regulation. However, Bitcoin's had a pretty good run this year. It's up about 50%. But has the positive momentum for the cryptocurrency turned sour? We're joined by Michael Rabkin, Global Head of Business Development at DV Chain. Great to see you. Thanks for coming on the show, Michael.
Thanks for having me on.
The SEC still hasn't arrived at or still hasn't achieved a regulatory framework for crypto, but it is going ahead with lawsuits.
Yeah, maybe we can start with the price that you mentioned there, Andy. So, Bitcoin price is slightly down over the last 30 and 90 days, but it's still up quite a bit since the start of the year,
yes.
Approximately 60% and up close to 30% year over year. So, June 19th, 2022. And maybe before we get into the SEC stuff, just wanted to touch on price. Like recent price fluctuations in Bitcoin and the overall crypto market, there are a couple factors there, right? One is macroeconomic headwinds, another is investor fears. And investor fears does lead to a possible reduction in liquidity. And you've kind of seen that with a bunch of liquidity providers that have publicly stopped providing liquidity in the US. We're one of the only ones left. And there is regulatory uncertainty, and there are sanctions coming down by the SEC for companies that are operating what they deem is illegal in the U.S.
Yeah, I mean, it is an odd situation. There isn't a regulatory framework, but there are regulatory actions.
Exactly. So it's how we look at it. It's regulation by enforcement in the U.S. So it's not quite clear the rules, so it's tricky for exchanges to really understand, or exchanges, apps, any vendors that offer buying and selling crypto, to really understand how they can enter the U.S. market and what they can offer to U.S. citizens. So, FTX was viewed as an oversight by regulators, and so the natural reaction to that is an overcorrection, in my opinion. And so when you look at Sam Bankman-Fried, who is a U.S. person who led FTX, one of the largest crypto exchange collapses in the world, if not the largest. He was seen as closely linked to regulators, and alleged fraud went unseen. So now everyone is under the microscope. You've seen Binance and Coinbase getting served certain actions, and now they're fighting back. So we're going to have to see how that plays out. But in my opinion, it's you're regulating by stipulating things that you don't really have a framework around.
BlackRock, the latest I heard, moving ahead with a Bitcoin spot price ETF. If they succeed, will this be important?
I think it definitely will be important. It will be the first spot Bitcoin ETF. And BlackRock has a very good track record of getting these ETFs passed. I think they've only had one rejection it was like 540 or something like that. So it'll be really good for crypto because it'll allow other institutional players to say, hey, we can also launch a spot product to the market because BlackRock has set that framework. And with that kind of sentiment, we're seeing New York Mellon is basically launching a custodian product. As you mentioned, BlackRock is launching an ETF. Hopefully it gets approved. There are a bunch of other institutional players in the market that are either launching or have launched a product that has to do with Bitcoin or other crypto variations. And they obviously have a very positive sentiment to the market. And so that should be a very telltale sign as to, I think, where we're going in the future.
What about rival cryptocurrencies? We talk about Bitcoin. Are there still thousands of various tokens and coins out there?
Yeah, there are. I think last time I checked, there was 18,000, something like that. I think I might be even completely off. But obviously, there isn't a need for all these coins. A bunch of them probably don't do anything at all. And they were launched just into that meme coin mentality. You're going to see a huge, I think, either aggregation of all these coins, either being bought up or eaten up by other coins if they can be, if they're on the same protocol. And if not, and eventually in a few years, you'll just see them shut down. Just like, in the .com era, a lot of the .coms originally, when they were launched, probably not in existence, or their business has pivoted to something else that's profitable. So a lot of these coins that are in the market are either probably not going to be here in a couple of years, or they're already probably close to not being here.
There's an event coming up. It sounds like something at a Tolkien, I think. It's called The Halving. And can you explain what it is and tell us why it could be bullish for Bitcoin prices?
Yeah, for sure. So basically, the halving. Let me make it easy. So the halving is going to be next year. It happens approximately once every 4 years, and it's important to know because one is the block rewards get halved, and two, usually price increases with when the halving occurs. So what the halving is, it's the block reward halving really is programmed into the Bitcoin protocol. And again, once I said it a couple seconds ago, it occurs every 4 years. So we're reducing the number of new Bitcoin generated per block. And this event is built into the system's design to control the supply of new Bitcoin and ensure a limited and predictable issuance over time. And so when the block reward is halved, it reduces the rate at which new Bitcoin enters circulation. And so this essentially reduces supply, and combined with ongoing demand, it could create, a supply-demand imbalance that may lead to upward price pressure, which we've seen happen historically.
And who are the typical customers for Bitcoin these days? I mean, I know it's a vast array of people, but where is the growth and demand coming from? Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I think it's a huge variation, right? Your customers for Bitcoin can be institutions, it can be retail clients. There are many, stores and applications now that you can actually pay in Bitcoin. So it's a variation of, do you want to actually, use cryptocurrencies to transact on a daily, or, something, at least for me personally, Bitcoin is a little bit less of a transactional currency and more of, a thesis of something like gold, right? Where it's a hedge to markets because of how much supply there is. We know exactly when the supply is going to be released. It's a great deflationary tool. But yes, I think there's a huge array of people still using crypto. It again depends on retail, institutional, and most importantly, and I think we touched upon this last time, Andy, third world countries, right? They have their inflation, some of their inflations are out of this world. And so for them, a currency like Bitcoin that is stable, that their government can control, is something that they need. And so we forget that we live in a country where we pretty much have a stable dollar for the most part, right? And we forget that, there are countries in the world that have thousands of % of inflation a year.
And give us a final thought. 5 years from now, will the crypto industry be much more mature, much more an established part of the financial system?
I definitely think so. We've already seen a huge interest in getting, products to market by large institutions like some of the ones we mentioned on this call. There's infrastructure behind the actual just pricing of it, right? So if we're just talking about the price of Bitcoin and where's Bitcoin going to go, well, that's one conversation. But if we're talking about what is the power of certain technology behind it and how that can change financial infrastructure, then that's a different conversation. But I think we're only going to see upside from here. Just like any new market, you're going to see fluctuations, whether it's in the technology, whether it's in the price. But I think from here on out we're only going to see kind of an uptrend market. Yeah, we're going to see bumps in the road, but in 5 to 10 years, you and I are going to be having a conversation where it's like this part of cryptography and blockchain technology is going to be much more integrated into our financial infrastructure.
Isn't there a risk, though, that we'll get more Sam Bankman-Fried type scandals? Because the industry is very murky. There is not the disclosure. Maybe because the regulators have dragged their feet, but there's a lot of stuff we just don't know going on in crypto.
For sure, Andy. And as I always like to say, innovation always comes before regulation, right? So regulators can't always keep up with innovation. But I think for the most part, in some jurisdictions, they've done a decent job. With regards to your question about Sam Bankman-Fried, that's out of anyone's control. That happens in every industry. There's people who have bad intentions in any industry. And so, unfortunately, it happened in a dramatic fashion in a year where crypto prices were getting hit by negative headlines. But again, that can happen in any industry. And I think we come out of it stronger as an industry because we're much more prone to looking at what risk is now and much more prone to looking behind the hood of a lot of these exchanges.
We'd better jump.